Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're gonna do Seven Sons Part 2 by Image Comics, made by Robert Window and Calvin Mao, JAE Lee, and June Chung. Let's dive in. I reviewed issue 1 and I was very intrigued because in this world, religion is now taking over the world, literally, because of something that happened. So we go here to the Nigerian village. The harvest has gone wrong. Then we go to Manila, is that how you say it in the Philippines? And she's hurting herself and with all child labor and stuff. And then we go to this guy, and this is in the 70s, by the way, 1977 to be precise. And we see this guy have a book called The Book of the Seven Sons. And I'm not sure who he is, maybe a follower. And there's commercials about the Seven Sons book just for $4.95 mail order. Well, what do you think, Rich? I think we're just about broke, Nick. 7.77, and I believe they are maybe selling books or selling or printing posters. I'm not sure who they actually are, but we continue a little bit and we're going back a little bit forth to other places. So this woman says to this boy, "Hey, your sister is sick. She needs a doctor. No finish, no pay. Hurry." Sits guy in the rain, and it's in Las Vegas, by the way. That's just what everything's gonna happen. He's last one. "Lord, give me a sign. Get a job, hippie," and he's getting hit by bricks and he's falling down. Man, that must have hurt real bad. And then we see that, well, one is born, a baby, and here as well. And then we also see, where is it? 77. Yeah, it's a sign. Okay, so this hippie wakes up and he says, "7 stones for 7 sons. Praise God, sacrifice brings salvation." Uh-oh. So what does it all mean? Well, I don't know yet. What I do know that is in 1998 in New Canaan, 7 children are born. And, well, not to go into much detail, but in the last issue, a couple of these children are being killed by a group of religious fanatics. And this guy wrote the book, and there's a story before that too, but he is basically controlling the remaining. I think he's controlling it. I'm not entirely sure, but when he talks to them, I think, oh man, you're going to brainwash these kids. Because they are worshiping, people think they are the new coming of Christ or something, like the new resurrection. Because in a couple of days or months, something is going to happen. And not sure what, but I think, I could be wrong, that one of these sons will be, I don't know, elevated, maybe, transformed. I'm not entirely sure. So they are going down, and well, they have to be in public all the time because of the worshipping, and it brings a lot of money. And he says, "Hey, you did a good job," etc. And but these children are conflicted, and so he is talking with them while they are being led away by a train on the ground. And one of them says, "Yeah, I'm tired of publicity stunts, all the fake smiling. Don't you believe what we're doing is real? We pulled the world back from the brink of hate and despair. Yes, but sometimes I want just to be a normal person." He says, "Change is painful, but your suffering benefits all kind. Think of the billions you converted from vast cities to remote villages." And one of them says, "I want to cut back on my appearances. No more hospitals openings or political endorsements." But he says, "Well, that's part of what you're doing. You need to do it." He says, obviously, you know why I feel like a prisoner. Why can't we ever go out and act our age?" I like this. So he says to him, "Spreading our faith isn't a 9 to 5 job. God is always watching. Remember your poor martyred brothers? The devil forces are vigilant. You must be more so. How hard I've worked to raise you and protect you. You were born with a gift no one else has. You know your place in life. All the world loves and looks up to you. Almost everyone, he says. Okay, intriguing. God will test you all until the coronation, as he did for me 10 years before your birth. Then what happens? Do Allah's watchmen weapons freeze? And he says, your adolescent angst is beneath you. Please persevere for a short while longer. Okay, so they are going to the chambers, heavy guarded, because, like I said, their assassins wants to kill them for their own reasons, and they having their chat with them. And there's also this blind boy that serves them. Not sure why they have servants, but maybe that's part of the whole shtick. It's part of the job. I'm not entirely sure, but they are questioning their choices. But one of them says, we have an obligation to spread the gospel of the seven for the greater good. Don't you ever feel trapped, only allowed to speak and never really meeting any of the people we're supposed to be saving? You've never seen how people live in the real world. There's much life. There's more life more to life than church. But this someone says, we're not too meant to live like other men. Look what happened to Mir, and he was the strongest of us. Well, Mir was the one that just died or killed. After the coronations, things will change. And but this one says, Nicholas will probably make us his chauffeurs or something. At least then we learn how to drive. Okay, that made me smile a bit. I like that. Yeah, it's unfortunate that these guys are being, from birth, they're being worshipped, they're being trained, they are doing God's work, if you will, but they haven't felt the pleasures and also the downside of being alive, outside of the church. But he goes out and then this one, Lord Delph, you already treated me well, so forgive my impertinence. Impertinence, is that how you say it? Please pay no heed to his words. Is this if he does not know who he is anymore? So yeah, there's a little bit of a conflict. And then we go back to Nicholas, and we see all these pictures of the sons. But then I counted this one, so there are 10, as far as I know. But there's only 7 sons born. Does that mean there are more? Does that mean there are maybe more children born and they died, and then other ones have been born too to complete the circle or something? I don't know, but intriguing. Why are there not 7 photos? Why are there 10? Intriguing. Okay, so he's gonna, make appointments to places where one of these children are gonna appear. He says, Ed feelings a bit cooped up. I believe he enjoys baseball. So, and this guy says, Buckingham Palace has confirmed Queen Diana's appearance at Candlestick Park, which of the JAE represent the church. And then he's scratching him. What does that mean? Scratching himself, I mean. So, okay, he is getting kidnapped. And then he's getting released. So I thought, okay, one of these, I'm sorry, these fanatics got to him. But that's not the case. It's his brother. He says, I told you I was going to show you a good time. Being kidnapped is not my deal of fun. I must return to the palace. But then he says, you don't know where you are and wouldn't make it without a block without being recognized. I remove your shackles. And I said, wait a minute, what shackles? He says, they are a symbol of our holy responsibilities. And he looks at him. So I went back and I see here in the corner, is this a shackle? Did he shackle himself? And then read this, I don't know, verse? What does it say? Revelation. Why did he shackle himself? Maybe because he's afraid of being kidnapped? I'm not sure. Interesting, more questions. So we said, come on, get dressed. And then they are going into a party, and we see this great party here, and they have wigs on it. He said, not what you expected. So I like this part because it's, you know, it breaks the whole serious things a little bit here. But things are getting serious, but it's more fun, you know, when you see a completely different setting. Um, he says everyone is does look like they're enjoying themselves, and then this woman comes in, and then he says something about if she know who you were, she suck your, you know what I mean? You can read it here. So they're having a conversation about. He says, "Are you not worried about being killed by Allah's watchmen like me?" And then the brother says, "Well, that is a couple of years ago, and it's been they're taking now precautions. They are not live much anymore when serious stuff is happening. They are more on the background, and if they are going live, there's heavily security, and they are not on public stage for too long. And so he's not really being worried." And he says, "Come on, let's drink." So he gives him, I don't know, beer or something. He never tasted it. And the brother says, "Ha ha." And he says, "Has anyone ever recognized you?" "Well," he says, "Hey, handsome." Uh-oh. "Your brother's so cute, Ep. I can't believe you've been hiding him from us all the time." So, yeah, he did. Some people know who he is. And he says, "I'm the responsible one." And so they have a drink and they're having some fun. And he's, getting to know these guys while, his brother having fun with the other two. And they're going to dance. And, yeah, you can see that he is feeling like a fish out of water. He is insecure a little bit. He never, was intimate with a woman. And so this is all new experiences for him. New, how do you say? New experience. Let's leave it at that. He says, "Everyone's so alive here. It's beautiful and scary at the same time." And she says that she's a nurse, and they're going to drink. And she says, "Wait here, I need to freshen up." But then this happens. So he sees something behind a curtain. There is a guy coming out, and I believe this is one of these fanatics. So he goes in, and he sees this woman lying here. Overdosed, maybe? He says, "Miss, are you okay?" And she's all totally out. Maybe she's dead. And then he does this. "Help me, Father, save this woman." And then we see a glow, and she is all right again. And she doesn't know what's happening. And then his brother comes in. He said, "Hey, what's going on?" And she says, I have to go." And he says, "Come on, the girls are leaving." Interesting. It's not to me very clear that the three of the seven sons, well, what's left of it, have divine powers, if you know what I mean, because this is the first time this is happening. Normally they perform quote unquote tricks on stage, blind people, crippled people, they touch them and they can walk again or see again, like you see on certain television shows. Unfortunately, it's all a scam, of course. Don't hate me. And so he says goodbye to this girl. She says, "Will I see you again?" "God willing." She says, anything for last call. Be not drunk with wine, but filled with spirit." He's a good choir boy. I love that. He says, what he's trying to say is we have two of the finest bourbons. So these brothers have a talk again in private. And he says, "So this is how real people live? You only scratch the surface. You see why Nicholas needs to let us meet the people we're supposed to be helping? He would definitely not approve of this." He says, "Let's file it under missionary work, our secret." And he also says that Nicholas has also plenty of his own. And his brother says, "What do you mean? What powers do we have, Delph? What miracles have you performed?" "Well, Nicholas says we must wait for God's plan to unfold, perhaps on our 21st birthday. There are only 3 of us left, and he only needs one for his prophecy. We both know that's Pergy, that's the third brother. Then Nicholas will be in control. Maybe that's what he wanted all along." He says, "What are you saying? He hasn't told us everything." So they talk about the book of the seven sons, and that he suspects that he didn't wrote it alone, and he talks about a guy called Richard Antipas. I don't know who that is, but it seems that they have to do. He has something to do with the writing, but not sure why this is important. Maybe we're going to see later. And now look at this. This is just smoking. It also says smoke here, but it has some kind of a glow. So this is not. So I think to myself, is this, because he's divine, because he's one of the seven sons, or is just that the creators make this effect on purpose to make us believe that this is some kind of a, I don't know, power thing or something, or maybe not, or maybe I'm not entirely sure, but this doesn't look like normal smoke, because it has some kind of a glow to it. So maybe it's intentional, maybe it's just for, effect. Who knows? I think it's cool because it breaks off the pretty monotone color palette that they are deliberately throwing in here, because it's all blues and grays, etc., and it's dark. But that's just also JAE Lee's style a little bit when it comes to coloring. It's mostly one color, and then with different shades and tones, and he switch it up. And then he does that with the next page as well. As you can see here, you can see blues and grays. And then we go to the more orange and browns, etc. And then we go back to the black and the grays and when it comes to this part of town. Well, not part of town, it's another country. I like that a lot. But then he says something. He says, I'm leaving Delph. I'm going to disappear and live a normal life, vida nova. It's all set, but I wanted to have this time together before. And then he hears shots. So the fanatics are here. They found him and the other the brother, and they are shooting at everyone probably. And then he's getting shot. App is getting shot, and Delph turns around. He says, "Come on, I can carry you. Never make it go. Downtown bus station." And then he gives him a key. He says, "Find your own truth." Then we switch to somewhere else. And so the fanatic, Sarbos, another false prophet has fallen by our hand. He whom Allah guides, none can lead us astray. And then he puts his dagger. So these are, one of these, sons, prophets, whatever you call them, is dead. Two left, but, well, not really dead yet, but I think he's gonna die. So yeah, the last thing we see is God is truly great. Probably they're gonna kill him off screen. It's the cover for issue 3. It looks great, man. Yeah, I'm on board with this. Normally when it comes to issue 1s, it's always finding your ground and finding your is it good or not? Are you on board? Sometimes it works immediately, and sometimes you need to pick up issue 2, 3, or maybe 4 to figure out if it's actually good. After this one, yeah, I'm gonna pick up issue number 3. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Hope you liked the video. Let me know what you think in the comments. See you next time. Bye-bye.